All right, it's 2025, uh, April 20 something. Not sure off the top of my head. It's my day off. Figured I'd show you guys the obsession of seedlings. So, believe it or not, these are all seeds from last year. I know. Give you a bit of a scale here. It's my finger to that trap. These are about 6 months old. I live in, a bit further north, so my fly traps outside are just barely waking up. There's nothing to really write home about, so this is how I keep things going through the winter, is you start seedlings. That way, you don't have a dormancy. You just keep going. Anyways, moving on to these Sarracenia seedlings. I really cut back this year on purchasing and starting. I mean, I made a whole bunch of crosses myself, and I didn't start any of them. They're still packed up in their seeds, except for this one back here. You can see that is Hurricane crossed with Lunchbox, and it is showing some nice color. Look at that particularly dark fellow in amongst its siblings. I'll be watching that one particularly. Anyways, I don't know. Not much of a Nepenthes guy, but I found that, watering these trays and letting them evaporate really helps, because these guys are finally putting on some pictures. This is just a Peltata, and this is like a Raja Aime from Borneo Exotics in the back. And this, I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's one of the newer large species that they found in the Philippines. It's whatever. I did throw in some Capensis seed, if you're wondering why those showed up. I put it there because, well, the fungus gnats really liked venturing in there, so I was just like, well, good luck, fellas. I'm putting those. And you can see that on this one, it is putting in some work. These are actually a second generation of a cross I made, because I had two wide leaf Capensis flower inside, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna hand pollinate these guys, and I'll show you those maybe later. They're in the basement right now, getting hardened off. I know that's a little strange, hardening something in a basement, but with the weather the way it is, the nights are still kind of cold to put them out directly. Before I ramble too far, I'm sure you're wondering what is going on with all of these. It's just my obsession. I got bit pretty bad by the green thumb during the lockdown years, and this is just a side effect. If I ever show you my collection outside, woo, is it a little out of control. Anyways, I am particularly fond of this cross in the back. No, not the dandelions, but these guys are just absolute. Well, you can see they're absolutely massive. Sad thing is, I did not write down or note any of these crosses, because up here where I live, rain doesn't really happen during the summer, and we had a random rainstorm, so I just ran out and was just like, well, if I don't get a chance, I'm going to lose a bunch of seeds. So each of these are a cross, but I don't know what they are. I mean, I can remember what this one was because the cat stepped in it, and I was just like, well, I don't really care about this one because it was using some parents that I didn't really, like. They didn't really perform that well. So this pot with this that I'm surprised turned out kind of well. This is a very complex cross. This is featuring two parents. BCP, is it Bimbo Phalanx or Phalanx Bimbo? That's the pollen parent, and then the mother is FTS's B52 crossed with BCP Giant. So I figured, well, I'll give that complex cross a try, see how that goes. Looks like it's showing up relatively okay. I'm looking forward to getting this seedling right here out. It's got the long teeth of both not Bimbo, B52, but it's not quite to its distant relative phalanx kind of level just yet. Can't wait to see that one get bigger. You're probably wondering why this tray is so much smaller than this tray. Well, that's because this tray was not under the same amount of lights. And I finally moved it here with these guys, so as you can see, they are finally putting on some decent size. So I can't stress enough the importance of light for seedlings. Now, I'm not talking about nuking seedlings with, 800 micromoles or whatever. This is around 400 ppf whatevers. You just got to keep it above 300. That is the bare minimum in my experience. At around 85 degrees, you just got to get it up to at least 300. If you got a light meter or that app Photon, is that what it is? Either way, you got to know how much light your plants are getting. Now, over here, it's my most recent acquisitions. I was going to use this for a fertilizer experiment, but they are not looking so great. And of course, they are flowering too. In the past, I've been, kind of okay with ordering from DI Flora because, at least you'd get a lot of plants for your patience and shipping costs. But now it's just like, what's the point outside of, their expensive cultivars? So I'll be a little more hesitant to order from them in the future. Yeah, these clones, I could have got them stateside pretty easily, but I was hoping to get a whole bunch of small ones in somewhat decent condition. And these kind of meh condition. So I'll be hesitant to order from them in the future. The only one that I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out is their little homemade cross that's not looking so hot right here. It's their Pro Giant Alien number 4. They say it's a giant, so we'll see how big it gets. So next to it is my divisions for the experiment these were originally going to be used for. So as you know, there's a little bit of a debate of nitrogen sources and all that, and there's a little snappy fellow hawking around is very expensive for what you get fertilizer. It's like $14 for like a little thing this big, and it's just a mix of urea, I'm gonna guess ammonium sulfate, and a little bit of MKP to balance out to get that 22-14-14, if that's it. So I'm gonna, once these guys fully wake up, we're gonna test nitrogen sources fully early. We're gonna be testing ammonium, nitrates, and protein. That's right, protein. Okay? These guys are proven to absorb protein through their leaves because they got special pathways in their traps. And, you know, the literature, or shall I say, the funded studies by the amino producers say it's a much more efficient foliar uptake than artificial fertilizers. I mean, than straight up chemical. And now I'm just stumbling over words, but you get the point. It's protein nitrogen sources full of aminos versus ammonium and urea. Okay, I haven't delved into what my mixes are going to be, but there's going to be 5 of them. Obviously, it's going to be, one of them is going to be Snappy Steroid, next one's going to be Maxi, and then we're going to probably do Snappy Steroid plus aminos for the third one, and then I'm going to do my own mix, and then another mix to make it 5, just to see the effects of different sources of nitrogen, along with a little bit of kelp/algae to see if that really makes a difference. So that's probably what the other one I said, Snappy, Maxi. So I'm going to give Snappy with kelp or seaweed extract just to see the difference there. And then 2 of my own little brews. And if you're wondering what's going to be under the experiment, we got the chicken special, because I had Sasquatch and Jabberwocky in the same pot, and guess what? The frickin' chickens tore out the labels over the winter. So I don't know which one these are just yet. I just know they're one of the 2, because, you know, they were growing in a little clump. And then the red guys are Centurion. And what's funny with the Centurion is that they're from 2 different sources. One's from DI Flora and one's from California Carnivores. And guess what? The one from California Carnivores looks different from the one that I got from DI Flora. So there are 2 from DI Flora, which one of them's right there, this big one, and I think it's this one here. And then the rest, which as you can see look slightly different. I'm hoping they'll all come out the same, but I couldn't help but notice that last year, is how different they looked despite being the same cultivar. Anyways, moving on, we got the classic Big Mouth. I think I got these from FTS. I mean, I bought Big Mouth from a couple different places, so I'm hoping these are the ones from FTS. Next up, B52 from Flytrap store. I don't know what's going on with these guys. This is why I decided to pluck them out for the experiment. They've been looking a little sickly ever since I got it from Flytrap store. I've gotten B52 from numerous places, and I don't understand what's wrong with this clone that I received from FTS. It's just not performing the same as the one I got from Joel's or Jeremiah for that matter. So I'm hoping that maybe a little lovin' will give it back its true to form appearance, because it's never really grown the same as the rest of the other ones that I've seen. So, as you can see in the Diphora, we're going to see how that compares. See if there is a difference. Alright, the next subject is Big Dracula, which I find quite interesting, is that they're waking up and they're losing their dentate factor. They're not looking that Dracula-like, are they? I mean, maybe that'll change once they fully wake up. And finally, Antonov 225, the unproven new kid on the block that's supposed to be absolutely massive if you've seen the pictures. I mean, I can't wait for this thing to flower this year. These were tiny little divisions, but as you can see, they're getting absolutely massive already. Oh yeah, so this question mark here was in the Big Dracula pot. It just didn't have the Dracula look, so I'm wondering if, it was just ahead of the curve a little bit, and we'll probably revert back to its Big Dracula appearance. So, I'm really questioning these FTS B52s. I might swap them out if they don't pretty up by May, because that's when I'll start this little fertilizer experiment. I might just swap them out for like a chupacabra, because that's a pretty vigorous clone in my experience. Just absolutely crazy division, hybrid vigor. Or I'll just grab some other B52s I have lying around. Oh. Probably wondering, oh, well, you didn't talk about these two little black pots right here. Well, I believe these are... I wasn't sure about the name, but it's that complex cross from Craig's Crazy Carnivorous Plants. What is it? B52 Red Piranha crossed with DCXL. It's a very nice clone, in my opinion. So I guess I'll end it there. So stay tuned for my fertilizer trials coming in May. If you want to see me start some seedlings this year, go ahead and let me know in the comments if, hey, I want to see how you start and take care of your seedlings video later this year when I finally get more seedlings and flowers. But I'll be trying to upload a little more regularly, I guess. Oh yeah, there is a freak in here somewhere. He should be hiding right here. You can see him with his little mutated teeth. I'm afraid to let go of the tray. It might tip over. There he is. Anyways, that's 20 minutes of me rambling. I'll be sure to give a size update, or maybe when I get around to repotting all these. Yeah, that's gonna be a terrible thing. Oh, you imagine just trying to split this thing open, trying to separate all these seedlings.